Alright folks, working on a 2019 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid Limited. We're doing the rear shocks on it. I'm going to show you how to do one side. The other side is exactly the same. And that's why I'm going to, just for the sake of time, do one side. So you're going to need a 22 millimeter for this nut here. If you have clearance issues with this arm, you can remove it, or you can use a box-in wrench to break this nut free. And if you don't have a 22 millimeter, a 7/8 will work. Granted, if you don't have a lot of rust. If you have a lot of rust, make sure you get the exact size you need. Up here, 17 millimeter for these two to break those free. You're also going to need a 14 millimeter, which we'll get a little bit later into this video, for this bolt right here. And then on this side, you're going to need that open end 17 millimeter for the nut, because that goes across for this trailing arm on the rear control arm here. Forgot to mention too, you will need to have jack stands in place, because you're going to need to have your jack to move this control arm up or down. So you're going to jack it from right there, and you'll need to raise and lower this throughout this process to make this move as easy as possible. Here's that nut. There we go. Make sure you keep the washer and the nut. The new ones, or the replacements you receive, will not come with that. The easiest thing at this point to do is remove this bolt. Again, you're going to need that 17 millimeter for this side, 14 millimeter here. You can try to work this off to pain, so I just recommend taking this. And when you put it back on, you're going to also need to have this removed too, so to fit this back in place. I can kind of just demonstrate real quick. See, starts to catch on these. You can hit this with a hammer, soft blow hammer, but again, save yourself the time. Don't even fool with it. If you got another helper, that helps too. You can grab onto your brake disc and push and lower. Okay. That'll come free, that's okay. So what I was doing after remove this bolt is I started lowering the jack very slowly, and then started removing this at the same time, and it comes out. This does need to go in a specific direction. These ridges right here lock in under these tabs. So when you put it in, it goes under those, essentially like that. It'd be much more flush than this, but just give you an idea. Line over this stud first. Might even need to lower it a little bit more. It's fine. This don't work. Yep, see, I lowered it some more. Slid in. You can see at the top here. A couple things you can do. You can push it down some, and it'll crawl. It'll kind of creep its way back up like that. this from flying out from beneath these tabs. Go ahead and get these in there. Don't go crazy with the impact gun. Lowest setting, just around, oh, and don't back it out. Lowest setting to just kind of push them up into place. Okay. Nut back on the end of this. Okay. Just running this down by hand. We're gonna torque these up after we get this back in place. This is gonna be for 2019 RAV4. Can't speak for other years, but 92 foot-pounds on this 22 millimeter nut, and then on the top 55 foot-pounds. Okay, jacking this back in place now. No, keep going. One more. Hang tight right here. Hold up. Oh, right there. Okay. So I'm pushing up against this brake disc into it, and while I'm slightly pushing this trailing arm down to get that bolt through. I actually got the bolt through probably a little bit too much because you got to get this nut on the back side. Well, we'll see if it'll work. If not, we'll just push it back through. Okay, 17 millimeter on the nut over here, 14 millimeter for the bolt head. When you torque this, it's going to be 90 foot-pounds. Yep, 90 foot-pounds. Yep, 90 foot-pounds. An extension on here, so you should actually add a couple inches. I like to do a foot per inch of extension. I got a 6-inch extension. Maybe 61. There we go. At this point, we're ready to lower it. One thing I forgot to mention though is, considering I was touching the disc with greasy hands, good idea, highly advisable to spray your disc and wipe it with brake cleaner to remove that residual grease off there. And wheels are back on now for the rear. Torque them to the manual spec. And at this point you should be looking to get I would do your fronts also as well at the same time. That'll be for a different video though, but after you do that, you need to get an alignment. Thanks as always. Please like, share, and subscribe.